This is a 3-minute introduction to the audio-described version of the film The Great Dog Pan by Toby Parker Rees. The film lasts 9 minutes and follows straight after this introduction. In this short black and white film, a young woman, Martha, is sitting in her kitchen talking to two others, a dog Pan and a little man who visits. Martha is a white woman in her 20s. She wears a strappy vest top that leaves her arms bare and an ankle-length denim skirt. Her long dark hair is pulled back into a plait with a centre parting. She has an expressive face with high cheeks, well-defined eyebrows, and wide eyes. Martha is sitting in her small galley kitchen with units either side of her and a black and white tiled wall behind. The fridge door to the left gives a faint reflection of her as she talks. On the work surface in the rear left corner is a stack of dirty plates. On the surfaces to her right are a kitchen drainer and a toaster. In the rear right corner, 2 six-packs of baked beans are stacked by a microwave. An open baked bean can stands next to the cooker hob behind her. Beside her to the right, a single banana sits on a wooden plate. The monologue is shot from 2 different angles. As Martha talks to Pan, we get a dog's eye view gazing up at her as she leans down and gazes at us with her soft dark eyes. The rest of the time we're in the position of the little man. A few paces away, we're looking slightly down towards her as she sits in her chair, her face framed in the grid of her kitchen tiles. Sitting with her arms held in her lap, when talking to us as the little man, her face seems a little harder, more controlled. Shot entirely in black and white, the film is bookended by images created without a camera. At the beginning of Martha's narrative, a sequence of fast flickering images, white on black, appear like light born out of darkness. Amorphous blobs seem to swell, shrink, or ooze like plumes of smoke. White dust scatters across the screen like a universe of distant stars. Jagged leaf shapes swirl in turbulent winds, and slashes of sharp white tangle themselves into spiky clusters. These images occasionally invade Martha's narrative, breaking in momentarily like a gust of memory or fear, so fleeting that there's not time to describe them during the film. These images are photograms, where objects such as mudlarked animal bones, reeds, hair, soil, smashed windscreen glass, and cobwebs are placed directly onto the surface of a light-sensitive material such as photographic paper, and then exposed to light. Flickering under the end credits is a series of phytograms, images created from the internal chemistry of organic matter, in this case, reeds and sycamores. Soaked in a solution of vitamin C and soda, the plants release chemical compounds called polyphenols. When then applied to photographic paper, the plants leave abstract organic chemical imprints. When laid out on film, these imprints become an animated extension of the natural world. Flickering circles become the title, The Great Dog Pan, in white writing on a black background. More abstract shapes flash white against the darkness, swirls and leaves, soft blobs and jagged scratches. In her kitchen, a young woman is looking down towards us.
What were you doing? Have you been dreaming? You're here now. What were you dreaming about? Yes, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to take you out of it all, but this little man's appeared for whatever reason, so I'm going to have to...
She looks up.
All right. Hello. Yes, so this is him. This is Pan.
She smiles down at Pan.
He's a poodle, if you're wondering what he is. The old kind before they made them little. He's one of the ancient dogs, actually. Poodles are some of the ancient dogs, and they're supposed to be a nightmare. But I didn't need... I was already sort of... So I didn't need a dog that would just... as well, you know?
Swallowing, she looks up at the little man.
It's that whole making something to love you, isn't it? Quite pathetic. Quite desperate. I always thought that about God, actually, when it came to him making angels. And I know, in a sense, it was their choice, dogs, coming down and being with us, coming inside, but they weren't expecting to be a wolf. If you see it in the womb, that's a chihuahua, really, and they weren't expecting to be kept like that, fetuses. You wouldn't choose that, no matter how hard it is being a wolf. Perhaps you would.
She shoots Pan a glance.
You could say something. I shouldn't have to be the only one saying anything. I can tell you why I have him. I can tell you I was having panic attacks, and that's been forever, but there were some things which made it worse, and so, yes, it was too much.
Looking at Pan, she bites her lip.
The doctors wouldn't do anything beyond beta blockers. But I read that dogs can help, so I looked for one, and here he is.
Smiling warmly at Pan.
He's a blessing. He's an actual blessing. You wouldn't think, or maybe you would, that a nightmare could be a blessing, but there you are. Here he is. In a couple of days, maybe less, he took me right outside myself. Little things, usual things. Getting up to feed him and getting dressed and take him outside for his walks. I had to for him, so it was just there, done. That was the way to take him down the woods and through to the water, watching him splashing about and rolling in things. He rolls in everything. Shit. Anything's shit. Fox shit, rabbit shit, duck shit, anything dead. Foxes again, bits of badgers, birds. And he gets right in his fur with the curls. But so, I got better, but the thing is that he got worse.
She looks down.
Poor. Good boy. Good dog. What good.
Concern furrowing her brow.
He just stopped. He wouldn't go in the water, wouldn't roll in anything. If he saw a puddle of it right in front of him, he'd just look at me as if I knew what to do, as if I knew anything. And he didn't eat whatever I made for him. He got so lean, I could see his bones through his fur, and it's curly like I was. But the thing is that he'd come to me, this beast really, this great big thing, and I just kept him inside mostly and fed him from tins and washed off anything he rolled in. And of course he was rolling it for a reason, even if I couldn't. I was so unfair. He gave me so much, and so I had to do something, didn't I? And I did, I have been. I didn't fuck him. You're looking at me like you wouldn't say it, but you'll go away and start. It's not pathetic to love anything. You don't understand, and I don't understand, but I'm not smirking around thinking I do. He hasn't made me mad. It's just the woods and the river. It's only swimming. If I was a teenager there at night, no one would think anything was the matter. What is it? He's happy again and I'm happy. Why have you got to make it? I love him. Of course I do. I love you, don't I? What good. Such a good...
She smiles down at Pan.
It's not mad to think there's something there.
Looking at the little man.
There is. A dog. What is it? Are you scared of him? Are you scared of... What? Smirking isn't an answer. All right, fine, carry on. I don't care. I do care, actually. You're being... You should be scared of him, is the thing. You should spend some time in the woods with him. See what happens to you. If you come back, you won't come back like this. Is that why you won't look at him? You probably... He changes things, is the thing. And all you can do... Nothing's ever made me as happy, and he's never told me to do anything, ever. Because he's a dog. What's he going to say? He can't say anything. He'll never say anything. He'll just look at me with all these eyes and... Look at him. If you're not scared, just... It's nothing like anything before. There's a difference. There is a difference between nothing mattering like that and nothing mattering like... It is better now. I'm not having panic attacks or... It's not the same. It's the same. They just happen now. I let them, you know? It's your own fault at this point if you don't understand, because you let me go on and on without saying anything. You're not going to make me feel stupid for you not understanding.
Glancing down at Pan, her confidence wavers, and she looks back at the man.
Will you leave if I ask you to? Can't do anything. You'd have already done it, so leave us alone. Just, all right, good. Bye.
The camera moves away slightly as the little man leaves, and she turns back to Pan.
I don't really think he listened to a word I said, really. Came in with an opinion and just sat there having it, pointless. I could have said anything and he wouldn't. I could have told him, you know. If I had to say no to you, I'd be in bits. And it wouldn't just be your fault, but it wouldn't just be mine either. You've made something come out of me that I can't put back. Is it going to be all right? What did we do? What did we do to them down in the river? What are you? Are you a dog? You don't always... I know if you are a dog, you won't be able to say, but if you're not, at some point you'd have to come out of it. Something would have to happen. And either way, I wouldn't be saying any of this to a chihuahua. You cry sometimes in your sleep. Did you know? I don't know what you're...
Looking down at Pan, her face crumples, on the verge of tears.
All right. You're a dog. You're a good dog. All right.
Phytograms flicker under the credits, by Toby Parker Rees, performed by Josephine Start. Supervising producer Katie Byford. Film and video umbrella Stephen Bode, Susanna Chisholm, Mike Jones, Jade Dezumala, Katie Byford. Phytogram technique Carol Doying. Lighten the Foot, Hush the Sound, music and lyrics by Euripides, vocals by Ted the Dog, courtesy of Ritual Images. Lottery funded through the Arts Council of England. Audio description by Andrew Holland for VocalEyes.